Looks like someone is looking for a game here. Let's accept. Here we go. Let's zoom in on the screen. And I'm white, so he has to go first. Oh, let's greet. Onegaishimasu. Torisi. He's a 975, rated 10Q. Lost my last game, so I'm down. I'm in danger of ranking down again. Oh, he starts with a pawn move. I mean, with a gold move instead of a pawn move. Don't know what that means. I'm going to do a swinging rook strategy. I've been doing that lately. I'll try the fourth file rook again. And I will stop the pawn with my bishop. Okay, he's bringing the silver up, so maybe he's going to do a rapid climbing silver attack, except he went to the side instead of coming straight up. So that's not actually the climbing silver, is it? It comes up and then out. Okay, so I've got the rook on the fourth file. I've got my bishop here. Let's bring the king over to the Mino castle. Where did he do it? Okay, he repositioned his bishop along this diagonal. So he can open up this diagonal in two moves. He needs to get this silver out of the way in this pawn push. And then he can force an exchange here. And when he gets to that point, I guess I will defend the pawn here. I'll take, he takes, and I will drop a pawn. He might take here, which is hitting the head of my bishop. But the bishop is defended there. Okay, I'm not going to do anything about that just yet, but something to keep in mind. See how this, oh, he brings his rook up. Okay, interesting strategy. Let's continue over. Maybe the rook is going to swing across. So we'll have like a ranging rook strategy, but on the fourth file there. Now he starts to push a pawn forward. So maybe he's looking to put the bishop here and bring this pawn forward to attack the king's temple there. Okay, in that case, I want to bring this gold up over here. So I'm going to push this pawn forward and step the gold up. Then I'll go back and complete my Mino castle with the silver up. This pawn here helps blunt the bishop pin along this diagonal, so not a problem. Okay, he's sacrificing a pawn here. He is opening this bishop's diagonal, but he doesn't have a bishop on it. He's opening the bishop's diagonal for me. I will continue developing my castle here. I'm almost done. I just have to push this pawn here and that castle will be complete. I have to figure out what to do with this silver here. Probably I should bring it up. Oh, I see. You know, one thing this rook does is it stopping me from pushing this pawn forward. With the silver here and a rook here, I can't push that again. But I can just, let's just bring this silver out. See, this diagonal is not yet open. Okay, he never moved his king. What was that? He just moved his gold to the side. Oh, I see. The silver can move without losing the lance in the corner if there's a gold here protected by a bishop. I imagine that's what he's thinking. Let's keep marching my silver forward. This could be a long game. It's a 15-minute time control with a 60-second increment. Yeah, he wanted to bring his silver out. Let's march my silver up. Now, if I push this forward, he can take it with the knight. Can I push this one forward instead? Get something on the knight's head here. Has to get past his silver, so it needs a little support on this square. Or I could put my gold up here and push this pawn forward. Knight takes, silver takes, gold takes. It's kind of a sacrifice. Let's push that pawn forward at least. Give him something to think about. Oh, he wants to put the knight there. Okay, so now I can push this pawn forward. The knight is hitting squares that are protected. And I push the pawn forward, this diagonal will open up. So, should I first take his knight? In chess, you never want to move the pawns around your king, but I've noticed in Shogi, you do that a fair amount. Okay, he's attacking the silver here, but it's defended. You can't drop a pawn or anything. I'm going to take that knight. Handy to have a knight in hand when you can drop it. Okay, so what can I do here? I can push this pawn. He can step forward. If he steps forward, though, I can take it because silver here, silver takes, rook takes, bishop takes. So he has to go back. Then I could drop a knight here, hitting his rook. I could also drop a knight here immediately, but that would block the bishop. But dropping a knight here forks the rook and the silver. Yeah, I should do that. Should have noticed that quicker. Wow, he moved the silver. He's no respecter of the rook. Okay, I can drop the rook here, checking the king, and I can take the knight with promotion if the king moves or if he blocks in any way. That looks good. Okay, he stepped up. That means his his bishop is loose. Right, the gold does not protect the bishop there. So I suppose it's time to start looking for mates. I only have a bishop in hand. I don't have any minor pieces, so I could consider sacrificing for a minor piece, so I could, a metal piece, so I could. Okay, the gold is defended by the silver there, and it protects this square. Could play a check from here. He's got a knight he can drop, or he could move the king. But is it just chasing the king somewhere? I have a bishop in hand and a rook and a bishop over here, and then my metal pieces are here, not yet participating. It makes sense to push this pawn, doesn't it? Unless there's a really good bishop drop I'm not seeing. I can drop the bishop here. Trade it off for this gold. Yeah, let's push a pawn. Well, I should have asked where his knight drops are. Yeah, he's looking for a good knight drop. I should have asked that to myself. I should have asked that before I played this. He could drop a knight here, attacking the silver. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. If I push this pawn forward with check, promote, and he takes, then I can drop the bishop here, and then I can take the gold. And I will have a gold in hand, and I will have pieces around his king. Should be mating. Let's see if he can come up with a defense. It's kind of amazing the defensive resources that exist in Shogi. Okay, he did do that. Yeah, so I'm just going to ignore that because my move is with check. And the king has no squares to run to, so that's forced. And I drop the bishop. That will be check. And I can take here with the rook and promote. So it may be that my opponent was really just learning the game here. Anyway, I think this will be a mate because after I take, he can run to the back rank, but wherever he goes to, I can drop a gold. So I think this is a forced mate. Ah, not quite, because if I drop the gold here, his silver can take it. If I drop the gold here, he can run away. I don't want to allow that. If I take here, the knight takes. So what do I want to do here? I want to move the bishop up. But let's see, is there some clever sacrifice that wins here? I mean, I can move the bishop with check. He can still run to this square. I can drop a pawn here with check. The king can't take. The silver could take. See my other gold. Can that do anything? Can take here with check. So give me an extra piece in hand. He just ran. Yeah, you know that that silver there is kind of annoying, and he wasn't required to take my. Okay, I could step forward with my dragon. He has to block. And I can drop a silver here. Depends on how he blocks. And then I could drop a gold there. I think that will mate him finally. The king has nowhere to run. He can block with either a pawn. Okay, he decided to resign there. All right, good game. And let's say thank you for the game. Have a nice day. Go back to the zoom out mode so you can see the dialogue. He didn't say anything this game. He just resigned. But yeah, I guess he was a beginner. Anyway, we can check out this game in the with Shogi Dokuro, see if there's anything I missed here, see if there's improvements in the opening play, and I'll see you guys there. Bye. I wanted to go over a few points in this game. There were a couple of mates I missed at the end. Hopefully you guys spotted them, but I'll give you another chance to find the mate here in this video. But anyway, let's go through it from the beginning. The opening seems to be okay. Even this early rook lift, my opponent lifted his rook out and put it on the fourth row here. And it doesn't seem to mind. I don't think the computer would have played that way, but it doesn't seem to mind that in terms of the evaluation. It does question some of these pawn pushes, this one a little bit, and this one even more. I think the idea here is that this pawn, let's see, can we get an arrow here? This pawn is blocking the view of the rook across that fourth row, and it doesn't really have anywhere to go. It you know, if it comes forward, it gets taken. In fact, he did play that pretty shortly, and that just loses a pawn for I don't see appropriate compensation there. Let's scroll up. So that's kind of the first mistake. And then pushing again was definitely a mistake, because I can just take that, and it doesn't seem to be, yeah, there just doesn't seem to be enough here for my opponent, for Sente. And then when he moved his silver up, this was a blunder which I failed to take advantage of, but there's a cool tactic here if you want to see if you can spot the idea. Okay, pause the video if you want time to think about it. I'm going to give the answer away here. The idea is simply to push my pawn forward, attacking the silver, and if he takes it, then I drop a pawn here, and the silver can't go back. The silver will be on this square. It'll be on this square, and the two diagonal directions backwards from that square are covered by his own pawns. And the forward direction, this one, I've got a pawn covering, and this square over here, I've got a bishop covering. So when I drop a pawn here, so I push this pawn forward, he takes, and I drop a pawn, and that silver has nowhere to go. So if I can just push this pawn forward and he retreats, then I can actually even promote it to a token. So it's actually better for him to take the pawn and sacrifice the silver there at that point. So that was a blunder, and I just missed it. But kind of a interesting point to keep in mind. Here, let's go with this. If you look at these two pawns flanking that silver, if you can draw the silver forward, it doesn't have any retreats. You just have to check the squares that it could come forward to, and those are also covered. So when all those things are covered, you're likely to have a tactic against the silver. Okay, enough on that. Let's go forward. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it stays in my advantage for the rest of the game here, and partly because there's this tactic just sitting there all the time waiting to be played. And then he just blundered the knight here, and I attacked it. But even here, Elmo thinks it's better for me to attack the silver with the move pawn 4e to 4f instead of taking the knight. But anyway, I hadn't spotted that tactic, so I take the knight, and then I use the knight in this fork. I almost played something else, but then I realized, this is just a fork. And not only is it a fork, it's worse than that because the rook has no square to move to. I didn't understand this during the game, but that rook is completely trapped. Yeah, so you do have to be careful when you venture out with your rooks early. You got to make sure you have room for them. So he's just losing the rook at this point, and then you can see Elmo's starting to find mates here. But here, let's get to the first mate that I missed here. So there's a 5-move mate in this position, and I played I played half of it correctly, and I missed the last move. So the 5-move mate, if you saw the game, it starts with this pawn push, and then he takes, and then I drop the silver, and the king moved to the side. And so here's the mate. I played the wrong move at this point. Can you spot the right move? Okay, I'm going to give the answer away now. I should play bishop takes gold and promote. So the promoted bishop, defended by the rook, will cover these 3 squares where the king is and the ones on either side. King can't go forward. And also moving the bishop out has unleashed the dragon along here, so he can't go backwards when this silver is here and promoted to a horse. So that's just mate in 1 that I missed. Oh well, and then there's another mate coming up here just before the end. Here we go. Yeah, so I started chasing him around with my gold, right, and this was the last move, but actually there's a 3-move mate here. So if you want to take a moment, see if you can spot the idea right here. Okay, I'm going to give the answer away now. Pause the video if you want time to think about it. The answer is you want to drop the silver to this square, putting the king in check. And the point is, one point I missed was that that my bishop here is protecting the silver on that square. So the king can't go anywhere after you drop the silver. It only can go to the 1h square. And then you can drop a gold here on 2h, defended by the silver, and that's mate. So pretty simple mate there that I missed. And instead I played this move with the dragon coming forward, and he resigned. The king has nowhere to run. But what I missed was that he can actually retreat his silver to block. Well, didn't miss that. I was expecting that. Then I was thinking I would drop my I was going to drop my silver on 3i at this point, leading to that mate that we saw. But now that this silver is out of the way after the block, his king can actually run this way. And so there is a mate in 10 there. But anyway, the mate in 3 was much easier to find if I had spotted it. Really, the idea I was missing was that this bishop was already covering the square, so I could have dropped the silver there immediately. I did not have to. Bring my dragon in to defend that square. The bishop is already covering that square. Okay, so that's it for this game. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye now.